So, another field that uses robotics.
Manufacturing. Here we have a 6-axis robot and a gantry robot. Basically, the 6-axis robot is in the bottom left corner. It can has many different joints, and it can, get into small places and screw things in, weld things, stuff like that. And then on this picture, we have the gantry robot, which operates down from the ceiling into the work area.
Another inspiration we had, certainly not a complete robot, but we created this little device that kind of works in a gantry style from the top, and it would be able to move from side to side and drop down onto the work area here. So we, lovers of chess, we created a robot that we thought, or a device that might be able to help us pick up a piece and play a game of chess. So.
And programmed it to actually do that.
Yeah, it has never actually run. Remember when he shook it, all those loose bolts? Still working that out.
These kind of robots make cars, boats, electronics, and the little things inside your house that you find. And different tools can be attached to the tip. Like the one on the left, far left, probably has a welding torch and looks like it's welding, of course. And the one in the middle has pivoting and looks like they're making a car, production line. And the one on the far right is, again, I forget.
Oh, you need soldering to create those chips, and
it's a very delicate process.
Yeah, very small things, right? So if you need to be able to move millimeters and be accurate with those little movements, right?
Alright, and then with exploration, we'll talk about all the places where robots go to explore because we cannot, such as hazardous places on the Earth, deep sea, and other aquatic environments, and space, the final frontier. Alright, so Earth, robots can go and explore hazardous environments such as maybe like the mouth of a volcano where the temperature is too great for us to go, it's just too dangerous, maybe chemicals in the air. They can go through rough terrain, withstand all kinds of temperature or weather, and also have all kinds of devices on them, cameras, microphones, anything you need.
To what temperature could they survive? Like, what would be the point where they can't get through there anymore?
I'm not really sure.
I'll field that.
Okay.
One of the issues with electronic parts is that they overheat, and so high temperatures are going to be an issue with robots. Obviously, they'll be able to get to higher temperatures than we will, but they've had electronic devices last on Venus for minutes. So, and then the temperatures there, we're talking like 900 degrees. So you can have minutes of time on there. Anything less than that, you're just gaining more time.
Excellent question.
Yes?
What's the temperature they can withstand like in Mars rover?
Oh, that would be the kind of thing in space exploration that they would set it up to withstand the temperatures that they know they're going to deal with. So when they're going to Venus, they would insulate it enough to be able to stand 900 degrees. On Mars, if it's 20 degrees, then they make it, towards that application. Right. There's about Earth. We have other things on space. So if your questions are on space, we'll get to that. I know it's very exciting. Yes?
What if, like, a robot what if the volcano just erupted and the robot is exploring there?
Well, I think in that situation,
the robot would slightly malfunction.
Yeah.
It might blow up.
Yeah.
And I like things that blow up.
Yeah. So, about this picture, real quick. Remember we were discussing power and how that's an issue. Some robots have self-sustaining power. You can see the solar panels on this guy. It's going to help it recharge. So again, humans don't have to get anywhere close to that robot, and it'll recharge. And hopefully that won't be an issue with that one. One last question for Earth.
I've heard that if a robot was in Antarctica, I've heard that metal over there would get so cold that it would just like really snap. How would a robot stop that?
Well, the engineers would, if they knew that they were exploring something cold like that, would use materials that will be okay. So we've studied a lot of materials and how they behave in certain environments, and an engineer building a robot will specialize it for that environment. So, but yeah, there's issues with hot and cold. Yeah, definitely.
Alright,
So,
next
okay,
slide.
let's take a look at space.
Alright, so space exploration. One of the things we did for space is we would take what we learned from exploring environments on Earth with robots, and we made the Mars rovers. Spirit was the most successful. It lasted for 6 years, from 2004 to 2010, and NASA is currently trying to get it to get back up and running again, but they haven't had any success as far as I know. And they help us experience firsthand places that we can't travel to yet.
Okay.
Alright, and then aquatic, the robots can survive under extreme pressures and temperatures that humans could never survive under. For example, the hydrothermal vents, like as you see in this picture, are basically like our deep sea underwater where gas and heat is escaping from the Earth's core, and around the hydrothermal vents it can get to 700 plus degrees Fahrenheit, and robots can go there to explore. We obviously can't. Also, the pressures are great since it's so far under the sea, and just around that, just like meters away, the water can easily be below freezing.
Okay.
What are the maximum ranges for like how deep you go before the pressure is too great?
Too great for the robots?
Yeah.
Any idea, Mr. Mike?
They would, again, if they know they're going down into that environment, they will structure it so that it will be able to withstand that. There's robots that are made of plastic that stay within the first 10, 15 feet, and then there's some that are just made of steel and titanium that can go down thousands of feet.
Yes.
What's the lowest pressure that they can withstand?
The lowest pressure?
Yeah.
I don't know any like figures right offhand, but submarines at these depths, if they're not pressurized, would just crush into tiny masses. So yeah. Okay.
Way in the back.
How long can they withstand underwater?
As long as the power supply lets them. So, depending on how much we need, they need to have more power.
Yeah. Let's take a look at.
And also, we also had to use robots to repair the oil rig that spilled oil into the Gulf last summer, because once again the pressures were so great that humans couldn't go there, so we had to use robots.
Okay, we have a video about that, and you'll see some of the different arms they use to help cap that well, and also in terms of the power issue down there, they actually send power lines down with those robots. So we'll take a look at that real quick. What's going on here? This thing freeze up. What's going on?
Watch this video.
Okay, it isn't working, so we're going to watch.
Do we have time?
Where'd it go?
You exit out last.
Okay, did I? All right, well, while that's not working, I'll see if I can get it. We actually have some robots we want to demonstrate for you guys, so we'll be able to do that. So besides the zipline robot, we use our robots in school to compete against each other. Basically, twice a year for a quarter, we have an elective called robots, and about 5 groups will create a robot that's going to complete a task. One of our games is called Cone Zone. Basically, the premise is to get a billiard ball picked up and dropped into the cone to gain points, right? Billiard ball's kind of a hard thing to pick up. It's really, really smooth and heavy. So, I don't think you guys going to try to...
Yeah, put it up. It can't reach the wall.
Put it in that one right there, where you're doing right there. It'll work in that one, right
See
there.
if you can at least pick it up.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see it.
put it in that.
No, get back here. No.
There you go.
No, you can't spin it.
Points rewarded. So why don't we let some of our guests here try out our robots a little bit.
All right. Anybody? All right. Here's how you work it. Just the back button, lift that up and down, and also spin it up. Well, anyways, you can just drag it around. Let them try it. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, you go to a 6-1.
Wait, move that one over there so they can move this one a little bit.
Which one? What?
Move that one forward so they can
Right,
move
there
that.
you go.
I'm just like, hey, it works.
Okay, we have like 2 minutes left, so if you have any questions about robotics, you can ask any one of us here. Many of us here have been working with robots for almost 2 years, so we have a good idea.
Raise the thing up. Yeah, the other robot is trying to define robots. Anybody else want to use it? Start, like, and then automate it, like how we Wait. How's this one conversation? Very
When we first got into it, we bought like 4 kits that came with instructions, like how Legos have enhanced instructions. But then when we got these games, it was just like, not even just
categories.
and then start building it. You know, it's really the first person we got out.
Facebook Live is here, social media.
Mine is that Legos are a lot more easier. We really got into